Motherboard should just stay. I really wanted to like the Thermaltake P3 case for a test bench build that would allow me to still access all my parts, be an open bench and easy to modify without it taking up a ton of space. This does almost none of that. It's just not great for my purposes, and I've been looking and looking for a solution, and I think I finally found it. It's this right here. All right, as I said earlier, this did not turn out the way I expected. So first of all, these Kingpin cards are very, very heavy. And the system that holds them up is literally just these two screws right here. The rest of it's on the PCI socket, and you can see how much movement I have. It's not very stiff, it's not very, rigid. Top of that, this thing was originally designed to have a radiator right here. And it's just, the way these wires are routed is just not practical. I can't do it, not practically. Because of that, it's just taking up a whole ton of space that is unusable. Another thing is the way the tubes are routed and stuff. I have no real way of water cooling this unless I make everything internal. Since I'm using an external radiator, which you can find out more about in this video, where we made the MORAD with the dual D5 pumps and everything, with everything being off the system and completely separate, makes no sense. So that's why I want to use something like this right here. This will hold only the computer and nothing else. So at this point, you have seen the two videos leading up to this. The video about the Kingpins, the video about the Streamcom BC1 open air chassis. So this is the day I'm gonna build everything all together. We just took all these parts out of the Thermaltake P3. So we got a Aurora's Gigabyte X570 Master right here. This is paired up with two Sabre and Rocket NVMe 2 terabyte hard drives. We got one 4 terabyte Corsair MP510 in here, and it's going to be running 128 gigs of DDR4 RAM. This is the Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB memory. We got our most expensive part in this table, well, relatively speaking. This is the NVIDIA. This is the NVIDIA scalable link interface, SLI Bridge, but for 3-slot configurations. Almost every one of these out there is for 4. This is the only one I can find for 3-slot, and it costs over $300. Yeah, ouch. We got our CamLink Pro right here. This will be for streaming as well, so this is gonna be my main streaming PC. Make sure you get subscribed, because in the future, you're gonna see a full dedicated streaming PC coming out and what you actually need to build that. And we got another piece right here. This is the Quadro. It's a Aqua computer Quadro. This will allow me to control the pump fan and all that good stuff based on loop temperature, which is the most important thing. This right here is just their newest flow meter. It's nice because it also has a conductivity sensor in it, so I could tell when the coolant's about to go bad. Got a 1600 watt titanium T2 EVGA power supply, one of my most favorite power supplies. I got a couple of these in my other mining rigs. And of course, right here, we got our EVGA Kingpin 3090 hydro coppers. And link up here if you want to watch the video about these. Make sure you watch that after you watch this if you haven't seen it yet. So what we're going to do today is get everything together and build it right into this rig. You guys might be asking, Tech Shinji, where's your pump? Where's your radiator? What you doing, boy? What's going on? Well, if you click on this video right up here, you'll see the MORAD video that we made, that we filled and got it tested all ready to go. That's going to be hooked up to this system in this video. So this is a combination of several videos coming to a head, and the next video after this one, sometime in the future, will be the Port Royal testing. Okay, so what I've done here, these are all push pins, right, on all the center areas, but on the 4 corners is actual threaded ones that we're going to put 3mm, M3 screws in. But the rest of them are push pins just to hold the motherboard in place. So we're just going to kind of hover over this. And then it should just theoretically just like fall into place here. All right, so in theory, motherboard should just stay. Yep. Don't worry guys, I've done this before. I'm a professional. All right, so we got that on there. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and install the power supply. So now that we have it together, we're starting to notice that there's a problem. If I have the fan of the power supply facing down as it is now, as you can see, if I put it on the table like that, there's just not much room for it to breathe. So we're gonna flip it around the other way. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be actually. The fan side is supposed to go up. That way when you put this down, it's literally on the ground. But I don't like that. So what I'm gonna do is I got these little bumpers right here. There's about 1 millimeter between the power supply and the ground. So I'm gonna take these bumpers, put them on the ends of the power supply right here. That way they're not just straight up on the ground like that. Yeah, that feels better. Like now I don't worry about the power supply bending. I could put all this pressure on it. It is fine. It is actually nice and level. This is how it was made to be. Next thing we gotta install, it's almost done, guys. So next thing we gotta install is our graphics cards. There we go. We are clicked into place, baby. If I were to use the standard mounting holes, like so, right up against the card, just like that, including one for card number 2. If I were to do that, can I still plug in an HDMI cable? No, I can't. That's a problem. So, how are we gonna fix that? See, I can't plug in an HDMI cable because these are too fat. So I guess this one will get nothing, and we'll use this one to hold it in place. This one is just going to be holding it right here. So yeah, we are firmly in place. That is not going anywhere. So got that in. Now the SLI bridge. There we go, we are in. All right, so cards are in, SLI bridge is in, all that's in. Now we're gonna do plumbing for this, cards to the CPU. So we're gonna use our old tubes that are really nasty and ugly as a reference when we go ahead and make this. I'm gonna take this tube, and you see how I cut it at an angle? That's because it needs to be at an angle for that. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this. I'm gonna trim it down I'm gonna try to use a natural bend of the tube. Just try to trim it down as close as I can, but not too close. A little bit long is okay because I can always trim that. See how this is cut like that? We're gonna have to trim that down just a tiny bit. Here's a little trick I like to use. This is just some old coolant water. We'll put this back on. Remember, the orientation is important. I'm gonna dip it in some old coolant water, and then that'll give us enough lubrication to get this on here nice and straight. Okay, guess what? We just plumbed it. All right, so in pure Shinji fashion, we are definitely going to do a leak test on this because this is kind of expensive and I really don't want water all over it. If you guys didn't know, this is the EK leak tester. It's just a pump and a gauge. So we're gonna give this a shot. Hook up the pump. Again, we're gonna open the valve, and I'm gonna get this up to 0.75 right in the green, right there. I'm gonna close the valve, take off the pump. So then we're gonna wait about 5 to 10 minutes and come back and check this out. So it's been about 5 to 10 minutes and we're still holding pressure, which tells me that there's no leaks. So if you wanna take a look at that, we're still at the same pressure we were last time, no leaks. So we're gonna go ahead and get this off of here. Let it hiss out all of its air. And now we are ready to fill the system. But before we do that, a word from our sponsor. No, I'm just joking. before we do that, what we're gonna do is wire everything up. Okay, so now we got all of our cables. I'm gonna go ahead and plug the cables in. Hopefully there's enough room under the motherboard to get this all set up. Boom, just like that. So that's plugged in. Now is our CPU, which is way over somewhere, right here. You can always tell which end of the cable goes into the power supply or the motherboard. A part going into the power supply will look like this. A part going into the motherboard will look like that. Okay, that's confirmed. Cables go right there. All right, now what's next? Our graphics cards. Oh man, this is getting really heavy. So on EVGA Kingpin, all the 8-pin PCIe connectors are on the end just like this. So it can be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't mind. And we're gonna go ahead and plug into those. So we're gonna route all of our cables. We're just gonna go outside because they're already sticking off the motherboard anyway. So go ahead, plug this in. So that's the basic idea. All right, now the hard part. Plugging in all the damn cables. Yeah guys, cable management is kind of a boring part. Kind of like parallel parking. Nobody wants to do it, but you all got to do it sometime. All right. Now you can see what I did over here. Again, nothing too crazy. Just get all the wires out of the way. Try to keep it within the same frame. There. Just to keep the wires off the ground. So now it's time to plumb everything up. I got my tubes connected here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my quick disconnects on this hose right here on both of them. And remember, we already leak tested both systems, so I'm pretty confident everything will be A-okay. So this is the return, which goes in right here. And this is the send, goes in right there. All right, I think we are ready to turn things on here in a moment. So we're gonna go ahead, apply power to everything and go ahead and turn it on. So in theory, I just have to flip this one switch and then everything will start working. Let's go. We're just gonna let this run all night and let it debubble the system. Make sure everything is good. And yeah, guys, this is it. So this is the MORAD 420 Pro Stainless Steel Edition. It's 1260 millimeters of cooling. It's got 144 feet of copper tubing in this thing. This thing is a beast. And we got our dual 3090 Kingpins. We got a 5950X under this monoblock. Everything is plumbed up, everything is working, everything is great. All right guys, so that's it for this one. Make sure you get subscribed because in the next video, you're gonna see us try to get into the top 25 on Port Royal, all right? Yeah, this is gonna be going up against the world, all right? Make sure you comment down below on what you think we will do on Port Royal. What place do you think we'll be? You got a week to find out. And check out also Misfit Mining. I am not by myself, I'm part of that Discord. So make sure you come down and say hello if you want to talk to me there. And thanks for joining me guys in this video. Make sure you get subscribed because you don't want to miss this one. We're gonna see how high we can get in Port Royal and probably knock Gamers Nexus out of the lead. See you guys in the next one. Bye.